Hello, how you doing? Just kidding. So I wanted to do a video. It's going to be a little bit different, I think, than most people will normally see on this topic. But I do think it is accurate, to say the least. So a lot of posts, majority of posts that you see about the narcissist in relationship, especially in relationship to the empath, is going to have to kind of be, a negative soul tie type of vibe to that message, right? Soul ties are, kind of like your soul's strongholds that you may deal with in life, whether it be a person or whether it be a habit or an addiction or something that's negatively, attached to your soul, and has those abilities to pull the strings of your heart, to pull the strings of your soul, to keep you down and to keep you, less than what you are meant to be. So, these toxic relationships that we come into in our lives, a relationship is either going to be one of two things. They're going to be a soul mate relationship, or they're going to be a karmic relationship. They're going to be like a love relationship, or they're going to be karmic. So majority of the time these relationships are karmic, just based off of our purpose and intention as far as what we're doing here as a soul on our journey and what we are here trying to accomplish. So a lot of times there are going to be karmic relationships that are intended to bring balance and some kind of karmic debt release or repayment. Usually, part of our soul contracts, things that are agreed upon before we come here in order to balance karmas and dharmas, right? So now the narcissist, understand that narcissistic tendencies and behaviors, these are all personality flaws. These are, I have terrible that's a reflex right now. So personality flaws and mishaps, are considered to be sorry, this is like coming up to my car. So personality issues are actually things that are a learned behavior. So, and that's the difference between being ill and being a disorder. A disorder is a learned behavior. So it's not something that you're born with. It's not something that you're like destined and, you're going to have no matter what. A learned behavior is something that your mind, your psyche created by itself based off of situations and experiences, usually traumatic ones that you've gone through in your life that created certain beliefs or perspectives on things and cause you to create maladaptive, which are negative traits or coping skills, ways of handling these things and different things in life based off of what you've experienced and what you've gone through. So understand, that's huge to understand that they are a learned behavior. So a narcissist is characteristic flaws where someone is taking a skill of being, convincing and confident, and they're using all of these skills in a bad way instead of using it in a great way, which there are great ways that you can use the same type of skills that are associated with a narcissist. But they're using these things in a negative way to be able to stroke their ego, to be able to cope with or deal with things in life, or because of the habits and the mental holds that they have created through their life, they now have these tendencies on how they deal with things and people and situations in a negative way to ensure that they feel protected and safe and in control. So, based on the things they went through, they formed these bad habits of manipulation, of lying to get what they want, of, usually being a pathological liar, someone who can lie, and have no remorse, or, just with a straight face. People who kind of have to use other things and people around them to stroke their ego and to make them feel better about themselves, because the truth is inside they feel that they are lacking at something. And a lot of times when a narcissist will see a strength in somebody else, they will twist and manipulate that strength or that person to be able to kind of take that from them, in a sense. So if you're a really confident person, or like I'm saying with an empath. So an empath is a very sensitive, very emotional type of person, very nurturing lover type of person who will go above and beyond and give the world to the person that they love. So a narcissist is usually going to require that this is an all or nothing relationship. They're going to demand all the time and all the attention, and that everything is constantly about them. They're going to gaslight. They're going to completely suck the empath dry of their own self, their own confidence, because it has to be about the narcissist. And if the narcissist is ever caught up in a lie, or caught up in something, or comes to a point where they have to take accountability or responsibility for something, they're going to run like their life depends on it, the opposite way. And they're going to twist things. They're going to flip things back on them, and bring up any and everything possible to try to become the victim of every situation. So that by the end of it, the empath, who didn't really do shit, now feels even more like shit after the narcissistic person already hurt them. They feel even stupider and less worthy and more unsure of things, because they have been gaslighted by the narcissist, and their pain was twisted all around, thrown back in their face, and then completely chaos together. Like, and that's going to be based off of like guilt and things. The narcissist does not want to apologize. They will never want to have or to feel as if they have the underhand. They always want to be in control, because that makes them feel powerful. When they feel like people are afraid of them, or they need them, or someone is weak for them, that gives them a sense of satisfaction. It feeds that ego, like, oh, they need me, So the empath is, in a negative way, a perfect victim for the narcissist, because the narcissist needs that attention and that control over somebody, and empath is a perfect victim for that. They're going to be a people pleaser and want to always make sure that they're happy, and in turn they're kind of giving up themselves to try to make that narcissist person happy, which is never going to happen if that person isn't working on their narcissistic tendencies. An empath is a lover. They're someone who's easy to string along and fill with false hopes and false expectations, and make them think that there's hope, and makes them feel like they're needed, even though they're going to be shown over and over that they're worthless and whatever. That's how they're going to keep them down. They're going to keep convincing them that they are no good, there are no help, no one will ever love them, that they're a really shitty person. And the empath is going to continue to go above and beyond to try to prove themselves and to try to show them, how much they care and how much they love them. And it's going to be just this vicious cycle of, trying to, the empath is a Captain Save-A-Ho. Yeah, they're going to try to save this person from themselves while they lose their own selves in the process. They are usually, empaths are usually very highly sensitive persons, someone who is very vulnerable to soul ties. They are easily tainted by the world due to just having that very open and very vulnerable way about themselves and their emotions. They're easily manipulated by narcissists, you know, allowing the situations to really break them apart, and really deteriorate their self-confidence and take away from them, all in hopes of jumping in and saving people. It's well intended from them, but it's this terrible cycle that's going to just really cause a lot of chaos, instability in the relationship. Really has the empath is really just brought to their knees, in a sense of getting to a point of not knowing what the fuck is what anymore, not having any self-confidence anymore, feeling like they never know up from down, really begin to question their own reality and their own worth, and how they're seeing things, and really start to wonder if they're tripping, because gaslighting manipulation is very powerful, to convince people that they're tripping, that's not how things happened. And indeed, probably pretty right, but they need that codependent relationship so that they feel a constant need from that empath. So by doing that and constantly gaslighting and causing such uncertainty and in the empath's life, it's going to take away and break down their confidence to the point where that person is no longer going to be able to feel like they can function without the narcissist telling them what to do, how to feel, what their day is going to be like. If everything is going to be okay, it's all going to be based on the narcissist partner. And that's, of course, a very powerful thing to have control over in someone else's life, is their whole everything. So it's going to become very codependent, because they're going to question their life and their chaos and their chaotic, toxic relationship. They're going to base all of their emotions off of if they are pleasing, satisfying the person that they're with, the narcissist, and what else can they do to be able to show them certain things that they're never going to get if they're not open to it. And they're going to be constantly just questioning their own processing, their own mind, and their own way of thinking, and who they are, because they're constantly being told and verbally abused of who they are, what they mean, how much they're worth, that they get to a point where they can't even breathe without being told how to do that, or that they deserve to do that. But the point of this video, though, in the flip side, an empath is actually a perfect match for a narcissistic person. A narcissistic person is brought, that narcissism and the maladaptive traits and characteristics are brought out of that person due to lifelong traumatic experiences and things that tainted that narcissistic person's perspective and view on life. So really what they need is healing. If you have a narcissistic partner who is open, who's at a level of conscious awareness, or beginning to open up to that level where their maturity is beginning to strengthen, and they're willing to step back and reflect, willing to be open to redirection, which is very rare, because like I said, learned behaviors are things that are, you are teaching yourself since a very young age. And these are lifelong habits and patterns usually that you have formed. Most people don't take the time to go in and change the way they see things, the way they believe things, the way they live their lives. That's a lot of fucking work, and a lot of people don't have time to be a better person. But ideally, if someone were to be able to have that self-improvement time, allow themselves to be open and vulnerable, and allow themselves to be guided and coached and helped through this, an empath is the perfect partner for the narcissist, because they are able to understand, to feel, to see why the narcissist is the way that they are, what brought them to that point. They're able to feel compassionate and understanding and genuine empathy for that person and the things that they've gone through, and therefore able to nurture and love and help the narcissistic person begin to understand and clarify and break apart the reason and ways in which they be, they form their own self and personality, and in hopes to, be a better person and to shed those maladaptive behaviors. But it's fully depending on someone's conscious awareness, their self-awareness, their willingness to go within themselves, to take that hard look in the mirror and to really accept and really want to change. If you are with a narcissistic person who is not open, not willing, at no way, point, form, stage in their life where they are willing, open, or wanting to change, and they're just not gonna do that anytime soon, then it's a waste of your time. And you're gonna get lost in the sauce of this person, because no one's just like a drug, just like a habit. No one's gonna give up something until they're ready to, on their own time, their own ways, their own terms. And until then, you're just blowing smoke, and destroying yourself from the inside out. You gotta be aware of the person's soul, their vibes, their life, their flaws, their strengths, their weaknesses, when you get to know them, before you allow yourself to entangle with them. Because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of weight to become one with somebody, or to go that route of trying to do that. And you don't want to break down your soul, lose all your energy by investing it into someone who's not ready to have that type of situation. You deserve to be loved and loved correctly, and there's someone who will do that for you. And that person, and the same. They might not be ready for all of your amazingness yet. So don't just go out and give your amazingness to everyone, And if you got somebody amazing that you don't want to lose, but you recognize that you keep fucking shit up, you got to make a decision on what is the most important to you. Are you ready for love? And if you're not, you got to be strong enough to respect that person and let them go. We all deserve love. There is no perfect match. It's all a vibe, and your soul is going to know when someone's worth it or not, when something's worth it. Allow yourself to listen and to be open to those inner voices and those things that are nudging at your soul, whether good or bad. Allow them to direct you. Your gut, your heart, your spirit guides. They're not gonna lead you wrong. You got to be open to listening to them, though. Good luck, guys. Love and be loved, because love will heal the world.